Republican Kevin McCarthy will become Speaker of the United States House of Representatives after garnering the support of his colleagues on a historic 15th vote. The final tally was 216 votes for McCarthy, 212 for Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries, with 6 representatives voting present. Sky News correspondent Mark Stone has the details from Washington.
It's taken an unprecedented length of time. You have to go back over a century to find a period where it took so long for the US House of Representatives to elect the person that is the third most powerful politician in the land. It has been a very, very chaotic 4 days. The president a few days ago said it was a global embarrassment that it was taking this long, that there was so much infighting within one party, the Republican Party, and that tension continued up until the last few hours. Extraordinary scenes, and as you say, yes, a phone call into the chamber from a former president. A series of extraordinary late-night moments to end an extraordinary week. This is the man who would be Speaker, heading to confront the man who'd just blocked him. Kevin McCarthy had thought this 14th vote would be his. He thought he could count on the maverick, controversial Conservative Matt Gaetz, on the left, grey suit. We can't hear what they're saying, but it is angry stuff. It's after 11 p.m. They've been voting for 4 days, unprecedented for over a century, a government paralysed. Then look at this. From behind, another congressman approaches, orange tie, Mike Rogers, with a few words of his own for Mr. Gaetz. Then restrained by another. This is today's Republican Party. And on January the 6th, it turns out, the anniversary of an insurrection which was fostered by some of these people. It went on. A few yards away, another congresswoman, conspiracy theorist, Marjorie Taylor Greene, controversial even within her own party. She has a call. It's Donald Trump, DT to her. He is still pulling the strings, or doing his very best to.
Boebert.
His divisive politics enabled this fringe group of ultra-conservatives, now disrupting on their own. It's been 4 days of Kevin McCarthy capitulating to their fringe demands. They get to call the shots because the Republican majority is so tiny. It looked like it was all over for McCarthy, for the week at least, but then the man who had voted no moments earlier had suddenly changed his mind.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Minnesota rise?
Madam Clerk, I rise to say, wow.
Deal's done. Democratic compromise or desperate infighting, which will put McCarthy as Speaker in a straitjacket, unable to govern, to lead this place. And so there was another vote, and this time he got it.
Of which the Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California has received 216.
Kevin McCarthy, the 55th Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
That was easy, huh? I never thought we'd get up here.
He'd reached the third highest office in the land, but through the most extraordinary and messy of weeks. That there at the end you can see is the name badge above the door of his office, an office that was once held by Nancy Pelosi, the Democrat leader or Speaker of the House, who he has now taken over from because, of course, the Republicans now have the majority. Incidentally, that office is the one that the insurrectionists 2 years ago yesterday tried to get access to as they shouted, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" During the Capitol riots. Now Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. But what we have seen over the course of the past 4 days and what we saw viscerally over the past few hours was a different form of dysfunction within American politics. You could look at this and say this is democracy in action, or you can look at it and say actually what it is division within one party that is deeply divided, the Republican Party, divided between a small group of fringe politicians who have been able to get their way and now have their seats, their feet under the table of very, very powerful committees within Congress. And indeed have got many concessions out of Kevin McCarthy as a result. There has been a statement from the president, from Joe Biden, who has said he will work with Kevin McCarthy, who, of course, a man he doesn't agree with one bit, but a man he knows very well because they are both veterans of Capitol Hill. He will work with him where he can, so says the president. I imagine over the course of the next couple of years, we will see divisive politics continue and the effort for bipartisanship get that much harder because of the concessions that Kevin McCarthy has been forced to give to the extreme right of his party.